Good morning, sunshine. Welcome to Morning Inspiration with Friends with our host, Miss Inspiration. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe as you sit back and listen.
Sorry. Good morning. I was just literally just looking down I still got 15 seconds. Good morning, y'all. Happy Friday. It's your girl Tanisha Shanae. We're here with another episode of Morning Inspiration with Friends. Shout out to everyone that's listening through the podcast on YouTube. Appreciate you. I am still working to get this podcast connected to all the channels. I have multiple podcasts. Might just link them together and just change the full name together. But we made it to Friday. I don't know about y'all. Let me tell y'all about my morning. I'm tired. I woke up literally at 1:11 a.m. and I've been up since. Do not ask me why I have been up since 1:11 a.m. But I have. And I am tired. And I think only prior to that, I probably got 5 hours of sleep. Right? So at least I got 5 hours in. But today's going to probably be one of them, I call them lunch naps, where I take a nap on my lunch break. But this topic today, this came up as a post that I wrote on my Facebook on my Facebook post 4 years ago, 2021. Not explaining your desires to people. And I think it really started to hit home when I'm looking at people on social media. For some of the world, tomorrow is the start of the Christmas season, right? November 1st. And just looking at the number of people that are going online, soliciting people's opinions, and in some cases, permission on whether or not they should put up their Christmas tree. And that has always bothered me because you don't have to get anyone's permission to do what you want. If it's going to make you happy, as long as it is not coming at the compromise of someone else's downfall, someone else is being harmed, other than that, do what makes you happy. Stop soliciting these people's opinions. What do you desire? You are going to probably be a trailblazer who's going to think outside of the box. They're not thinking the way that the rest of the world is thinking. They're not doing things the rest of the world is doing. And here you are a risk taker. You are taking a chance and saying, you know what? I don't want to do what other people do. And I understand the Christmas tree is just one example. But there are people literally out here right now getting people's permission. And I'm not talking about at a job. I'm talking about everyday life, social media, family, friends, strangers. They're literally just going to anyone and they're trying to get permission. This is what you desire. Do you know that? So next week is going to make 2 years. 2 years I've been in Tulsa next week. This weekend was the weekend that I drove, right? I left on a Friday. I left Thursday. I didn't ask for anyone's opinion. I didn't ask for anyone's permission. I just did what I wanted to do. I did what felt right to me. And a lot of times that's really the only thing I want you to do. Do what you are being called to do. Do what God is telling you to do. And this is why you can't go to other people and you can't have those conversations with them. You're trying to explain these desires that God is placing on your heart, and they're not going to understand it. So you have to realize that your desires are going to be your divine clues to where your life is going to go and how your life is going to manifest. So it is okay to have abnormal, according to the other people, abnormal desires. It is okay to feel as though that you can take a path that no one else in your community, your friend group, your work environment, no one else is doing this. It's okay to take that other path. That is where you're going to find the divine anointing opportunities. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to find love there, you're going to find riches, good health. We don't know. But if we get away from trying to go after what everyone else is telling us to do, if we get away from that, and your desires they're not selfish, they are yours. They're going to impact other people, of course, because anytime that you do things that are not in tradition, it's always going to have an impact. Someone is going to be offended, right? So you don't owe anyone an understanding. Like I tell people so many times, when I started to talk about coming to Tulsa, so many people were like, I don't understand. Why would you want to do that? Okay, I don't need you to understand. It sounds rude, it sounds mean, but I don't need you to understand. Because the same way you don't understand why I would want to leave, I don't understand why you would want to stay. But guess what? I don't put those comments out there. I just continue to wish you well. Because if God gave you the vision to stay, then I want you to be obedient to that. But see, a lot of the people that I have those conversations with, they're not speaking to God. Or God is speaking to them loud and clear, and they're not listening. So this is the reason why you don't owe anyone any level of understanding, because he gave you the vision. He told you what to do. It wasn't a group chat. You see that author and you see that post. God gave you the vision. It was not a group chat. This was not a collaborative effort. So stop worrying about what they feel and focus on what you need. Focus on where you're going. Focus on what you desire. Focus on what you want. That's it. You got to let go of this validation from other people. The only validation you need is from God. And I know it sounds so cliche, but that is the truth. That's the only validation. No one else is going to understand. Perfect. That's what we need. We don't need for them to understand, because that's when the beauty is going to come. Right? Alignment is rarely going to look like something logical, something that, just makes sense. And I'm saying this as a person who is on the flesh side. I'm logical. I don't move unless it's logic. And that was actually one of the first things that God had to work on me with, because it was like, you got to break free from this logic, because the logic is going to be the problem. And when I started to decrease my logic and just understand that if this is what God desires, he's going to align it. It's going to work out. It's not going to be perfect. You might have some struggles. But again, if you're following his voice and you're doing it the way he's telling you to do it, anytime any type of obstacles come your way, you're going to be able to overcome them, because he's going to give you the strategies to overcome them. So the people that you're speaking to and that you're getting permission from, they're still living in the land of comfort. They're staying in their comfort zone. They're going to make everything logical. So when here you come speaking and doing something that you truly desire, you are going to allow someone who's following all of the traditions of this society, you're going to let that stop you. So just because there's an unwritten rule somewhere in the world that says, oh no, you can't put your tree up until Thanksgiving. Look, people are dying left and right. Young people in their 30s. Natural disasters are happening. Just yesterday in Brooklyn, in New York City, rather, massive floods. I watched a video of a young man being pulled out of a basement apartment and he drowned. So we got to realize that tomorrow is not promised. Heck, this afternoon is not promised. So you cannot allow anyone to tell you otherwise. Go and do it. They don't like it. Oh well. Let that be your answer. Oh well. Look, you see me, I got my little Santa cup. There's someone out there right now that would say to me, well, Tanisha, you shouldn't use that cup until it's Christmas time. It's still October. Someone would say that. And you know what I would say, people like that? I'm gonna do what I desire to do. If using this cup is gonna make me happy today on October 31st, then guess what? I'm gonna use this cup on October 31st. And again, there are people out there that are out here going after and saying, oh, you know what, let me put this cup away. Let me not use it until it gets closer. No, do what makes you happy. Stop apologizing for outgrowing what no longer fits your piece. When I moved, I literally moved because I was looking for peace. I needed my peace. I was very unhappy. I was very mentally drained. I don't believe in anxiety. I don't believe that I have anxiety, but I felt like my nervous system was not doing well in New York City, not full time. That's why you started seeing me since 2021. I've been fully remote since 2021. And in 2021, where did I go? I went to Myrtle Beach. No, I went to Orlando, stayed in Orlando for 3 weeks. 2022, I traveled different places, but I was able to go to Myrtle Beach for a week. And then what ended up happening in 2023? What did I do at the beginning of this year? I was in Colombia, in Panama for 6 weeks in total. And so many people were saying to me, oh, well, Tanisha, you can't run from your problems. No, but I can definitely go and find the space that I can have the peace so that I can declutter mentally, so that I can really focus on the things that I need. I could get some clarity so I can hear God and I'm not in the midst of all of this confusion and chaos. I didn't ask for anyone's permission. And trust me, I remember in 2022 when I went to Myrtle Beach, there was a gentleman that I was like, we were cool. We tried dating years ago and it didn't work out because he kept trying to take me on ice cream dates, even though I can't have dairy. And he was like, what, you going away for a month? So you ain't got no job? So you out here just broke? Like, who does that? 100% projection, 100% assumption. And I was like, one, I'm going because I want to. I'm going because I can. And I'm going because I definitely have a job that's going to allow me to pay my bills for my place in New York and for me to go stay somewhere for a month. All because I want to. I did not need anyone's permission to do it. And when I understood that part of life, when I got to that space, that's when it made sense. And it was just like, okay, you know what? This is what I have to keep doing. I have to just keep doing what I desire to do and not worry about anyone else, not get their permission, not worry if they're going to be okay with it. Because they're not. Some people would never be okay with you going after what's going to make you happy. This is the reason why you can go right now, go on Threads, go on Twitter, go on Facebook, and just look up Christmas tree. The number of people that are annoyed. So this is not even people that are like, hey, should I put up my tree? The number of people that have put up posts talking about other people, why are you putting up your Christmas tree? That should not bother you if that tree is not going up in your house. Imagine waking up, making a post about something that is not impacting you whatsoever. If I drive down the street right now and I see someone has their house decorated for Christmas tomorrow, guess what? I'm going to smile and keep on walking and keep on driving. Because that has no impact to me. Nothing is going to change in Tanisha's life. If anything, I'm going to receive more joy because now I get to see these beautiful lights. But people are so annoyed and they're frustrated about that. And these people are just out here unapologetically being themselves and doing what makes them happy. And guess what? I want everyone to get a slice of that. And I want you to consume that. That's what everyone needs. They need that. Figure out what you need to make you happy so that you can go out and go after everything that you want, all of your desires, to the point where you don't even care. When people start criticizing you for what you're doing, you're just like, man, I need you to go out there and do what's going to make you happy so you can stop worrying about me over here. And every time I see one of those posts, I comment and I say that. That's when Miss Inspiration is going to tap in. Good morning, Jen. That's when I tap in. Let those people do what they desire. And how about you start figuring out what's going to make you happy? Because I don't like turkey legs and turkey wings, right? You don't see me on social media writing a whole post and a thesis about why people like turkey wings. It has no impact to me. I keep it pushing. I'm going to focus on what is going to have some kind of impact on me. So I really want us to get into this space. First, ignore the noise. Ignore the people. Ignore them. And do exactly what God tells you to do. And that really ruffles their feathers, right? People really get mad when you say, well, God told me to do this. They get upset because they're not listening to what God is telling them to do. And I get it. I used to be, when I was younger in my 20s, right? I've always believed in God. I always believed in Jesus, but I didn't have that relationship. So I would hear people talk about these types of things, and it just never made sense. It was just like, okay, you know, and it wasn't until my late 20s, my early 30s, that's when that relationship started. And that's when I started to see, when I started to become full of what God was telling me to do. And those became my desires, where I didn't fight it. I wasn't in war with God trying to figure out why I don't want to do this. And when I literally got to that space, and this was like, no, these are my new desires. When I started to share with people the criticism that I received, the negativity, God would never tell you to do that. Why would God tell you to go here? Why would he tell you to go there? Why would you want to do that? I think I shared this earlier in the week in one of the other videos, and I was speaking about how I don't believe that I'm supposed to work full time, like a full 40 hours. I don't believe that. And people hate when I say that. And I'm like, I don't believe that. I believe that I can definitely do what I love to do, get paid extremely well, and not have to work 35 to 40 hours a week. Definitely not 50, 60 hours. Been there, done that. Did that before, not doing it again. Well, I will pray I don't have to do it again. And if I do have to do that, I understand that that will probably be God putting me in a real intense season of me using my gifts and activating on that level. So I'm not going to say it's never going to happen, right? But I don't believe that I'm supposed to work 40 hours, right? Jen understands. Jen gets it. And so when people hear us say things like that, that's going to offend them. Right? I've had someone say to me, well, who do you think you are? Tanisha? Like, I know I'm Tanisha. I don't think I'm anything. But I know that what I hear, what God tells me, and I know the conversations that we've had, and I've seen what God did. I did it in 2018. I left a crazy full-time job and had two choices. I had a choice between a full-time and I had a choice between a part-time. And that part-time, it was up to 25 hours a week. And I got paid over, I think it was like $40 or $42 an hour. I made enough money. I was able to, that was when I was coming out of my drought. My bills were paid. I was able to pay people back. I had 2 personal loans. Those 2 personal loans were paid off. The first one was paid off by the end of 2018. And I paid off the second one by the mid of 2019. Working that part-time job. Able to now go back and go get my hair done, go to the hair salon again. Because in 2016, 2017, I couldn't, because I couldn't afford it, right? Yes, Jen, we are going against the culture, right? And that is what so many people don't want to understand, right? This is the reason why I say, I want to help people to unlearn the narratives that were instilled in us. And it's not saying that these narratives are wrong. They work, but I believe that they work for a season, right? Sometimes God needs for you to work hard, but it doesn't mean he wants you to do that. The government just said that retirement age is going to go up. It's already, 67? I'm not trying to do that. Again, if I'm in ministry and God is calling me to be out here and to speak and to go out here and to teach, I don't have a problem doing that because that doesn't feel like work. But to have to think that that's how we're supposed to, like someone's telling you, no, you're supposed to do this. No, if you follow what God is doing, I promise you he's going to put you in a position where that's not going to be your reality. You have people out here right now killing themselves physically, working 60 hours a week. And then they're like, oh, well, I make a lot of money to compensate that. And then when you meet the person who's doing what God is calling them to do, and they're doing it the way that God is calling them to do it, they're making the same amount of money. 2016, I met a lady. She was a dog therapist. 2016 in Brooklyn. Kid you not. Met her in Starbucks on Franklin Avenue. And she is a dog therapist. And do you know how much this woman was charging these people per hour? Because it was by the hour. She was charging them $125 by the hour. She said on a slow week, she had 10 to 15 sessions. She didn't say how many hours. Everyone is not doing just 1 hour. Some people are doing 2. So you do the math. And then you have someone who will come and criticize, well, she still got to pay taxes. No one ever said she didn't put the money to the side for her taxes. You see how people come and like they come with this whole big dispute because they want to try to make reason as to why. No, you got to do it this way. You got to go and do it the traditional way and get paid $30 an hour and working 50 hours a week just so that you can make rent. When people used to post about in New York City, sanitation, New York sanitation, the starting pay is like in the 40s. I'm hoping that it's gone up since the last time that I looked. And I remember seeing in the comments, people were like, yo, but once you do overtime, it's like 80,000. How many people do you know can afford rent in New York City on $40,000? And you don't qualify for any assistance. So now these people have to work overtime just so that they can now pay rent. Absolutely not. And then when they look at people like myself who are like, oh yeah, I picked up a part-time gig and I work 25 hours a week and I get paid. And they're like, I just figured out what I'm good at. And I found the organizations that I was aligned with. And guess what? The opportunities came. Because that opportunity, when they initially posted, it was like $35 an hour. And it was only like 15 hours. When I told them that I had another offer and I was going to go with that offer, they came back and was like, we want you. So we're willing to give you the money and the number of hours that you need. We just can't make you full-time. And trust me, they did not understand. I never wanted full-time. And it worked out. So I'm here. Do what you desire. Stop listening to these internet trolls. Don't even come to the internet and get there and solicit their opinions. Don't even do that to yourself. Unless you are really good at muting people and ending the conversation and walking away. Save your peace. Because majority of the people don't understand this. A lot of people are not ready to have these conversations. Everyone knows what they know, and that's what they know, and that's it. And so now when you hear people like myself, and I love the people that have known me for years, because I've had someone say, but Tanisha, you wasn't always like this. Yeah, when you start healing and you have that relationship with God, your life will change. Your life is supposed to change. It's not supposed to stay the same. You're not supposed to be the same exact person that you were when you was in the world, when you were not listening to God, when you was not following him. Your life is supposed to change. People are supposed to look at you and just see a difference, and not just in the physical. Your mental, the way that you treat people, they're supposed to see these things. But that's another conversation for another day. But, oh, that's an echo. But yeah, so I'm going to stop here. But I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Stay safe. Anyone that's going to be out there, any activity, I don't care what you're doing. Because at this point, I was born in the era where even if you wasn't out here doing anything for Halloween, you would just get hit by an egg, right? Just walking home from school, you got hit by eggs, and you were just innocent, minding your business. So y'all just be out here and follow and be safe. Just say you are following God's plan, not your own. Exact. Look, you know it, because I tell people all the time. I don't know how I ended up in Oklahoma. This was not Tanisha's plan. This was not in my book. Tanisha was nowhere saying I'm going to move to Oklahoma. Absolutely not. I wasn't. His plan, and that's like a true testament. Think about that. Coming from New York City, hustle and bustle, grind, to Tulsa, right? Doing what I love to do, just being in this amazing space. So that right there is a testament. Just doing what he does and what he tells you to do, right? So check out my links. I actually got to update my my link tree. The Google Workspace course has started. The one I have a 4-week version that's happening right now. Last night was the first session. And starting on December 13th, I'm doing a 2-week boot camp. So same class, but it will run on Saturday mornings for 2 weeks, 6 hours in total between the 2 weeks. So if you are looking, because a lot of companies are starting to move away from Microsoft, and a lot of people just don't know these softwares. They don't know whether it's Microsoft Word or Google Docs, Microsoft PowerPoint, Excel. They don't know any of these softwares. And because I know that Google is free, Microsoft has a fee, I decided to start offering courses. So if you're interested, if you really want to get in on the course that's happening now, inbox me or send me a message on Instagram at Tanisha Shanae, or find me on Instagram, on Facebook, and I can get you into the class that's happening now. You can just get the replay. We're going to really dive into the applications next week. It's on Thursdays evenings from 6 p.m. Central Time to 7:30 p.m. Central Time. But if not, you can register for the one that is happening in December and get into the boot camp. And it's early bird free. And I also have a 2-for-1. So you and a person can sign up and be a part of the class and get the information that you need so that you can be successful in whichever direction you go. So it's teaching you computer software, but it's also a little bit of career development. I actually added a whole section of like terms and key terms and terminologies and phrases that you would see in job descriptions as they relate to the various tools. So everything that we went over yesterday about collaboration with Google Drive and Gmail, they were able to see and identify different phrases that will appear in job descriptions that will help them to identify what tools they need to really master. Because it's not going to just say, need to know how to use Google Drive and, Google. They're going to use certain keywords that's going to trigger whether or not you know how to utilize those skills and utilize the tools that go with that particular skill. So check it out. Go to my link tree. Again, you can send me a message and we can have a conversation. But have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Be well, be blessed, and have a great one.
Wow, Tanisha, that was a powerful message. I hope everyone was blessed by today's message. Listen, if you are not tuned in, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Meet us for morning inspiration with friends every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. ish CT time. See you next time, friend.